Isabella, did you hear that 2 Florida teenagers were arrested for joyriding a lawnmower through a Target?
What?
It's Ocala, right? That's how you say that part of Florida? Ocala.
Ocala.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 18-year-olds charged with criminal mischief and disorderly conduct because they ran it through the front door of a Target.
Teenagers in Target, I don't know. There's just something about them. Every single time I'm in a Target, I'm not surprised by this because every time I'm in a Target, I see a bunch of kids running around, going crazy, stealing shit. So
It's so true.
have fun with the lawnmower, I guess.
I mean, bringing it to the Target, really an interesting choice. This also comes after they also allegedly
I'm dumb. I thought they stole the lawnmower from Target.
No, I think they brought it. But they also went to a Culver's and ran a leaf blower? Isn't Culver's a food place?
Yeah, what are they trying to blow away?
Is Culver's a food place?
Yeah, it's a burger place.
Yeah. What are they doing with a leaf blower there?
They're bored. They can't drink. They got to do something.
I mean, 18, they're close enough. Just stay home and drink your parents' beer in the backyard, allegedly.
Who said that?
Who said that? Gritty? Hello! Hi there, and welcome to Casuals, a sports podcast that doesn't care what you know. We're just happy that you're here. I'm Katie Nolan, your friendly host, here to get you caught up on everything going on in sports. Joined today by my Casualties, the production crew here at SiriusXM. We have our sports newbie-ish, Isabella.
Hello.
Our master editor, Chris.
What's up?
And Brady.
Hey.
If you want to reach out to us, too bad. I got something in my throat. Our email is casuals@katienolan@gmail.com. Our voicemail 646-801-0043 on IG and TikTok at Casuals the Podcast. Coming up today, we got high profile sports breakups. We're going to start there probably. Then we get the NFL draft. We have updates on the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs, and a marathon milestone, and a little bit of a follow-up to a couple stories, but one of them involving R.L. Stine. So something to really look forward to. But we have to start with the big news, the sad news, the devastating news that hit the timeline this weekend. And that's that Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion are no longer dating.
Jesus Christ.
I know. Really tough stuff. It was the kind of sports weekend where my timeline was a lot of people going, somebody check in on Katie. And I don't know which story it was they were referring to. You're going to have to be more specific. This was probably the big one, though. Megan Thee Stallion announcing on Saturday she ended her relationship with Klay Thompson. Now, the way we found out, she first posted sort of the more honest statement on her Instagram story. She wrote, and I'm just going to read it, cheating had me. It's funny because it reads almost like her lyrics. But cheating had me around your whole family playing house, got cold feet, holding you down through all your horrible mood swings and treatment towards me during your basketball season. Now you don't know if you can be monogamous, 4 question marks. Bitch, I need a real break after this one. Bye, y'all. And everybody was like, cheating?
Crazy.
He cheated?
That guy? With her?
I saw a TikTok where it was like, listen, Klay, when we first found out that you guys were dating, I was like, all right, like, it's not the cutest, but like, we accept you.
We thought he was hot because of how hot she is. She's so hot that when they first started dating, we went, oh, Klay Thompson could be hot. It was not something we were widely discussing beforehand. Remember that I said one of my favorite things when they first started dating was hearing from the women who were like, why'd she have to take my man? I picked Klay Thompson because I didn't think anybody would ever in the history of ever have a crush on this man. Why'd she have to take my man? And now that man didn't want to be monogamous with Megan Thee Stallion?
I know, and I forgot what was it. She I think it was during the Winter Olympics when she did all of that like content stuff and was just like, oh, I'm manifesting my engagement this year.
If I see this man in the streets, he better hope we don't run into each other. I am so mad. And I'm so mad I'm not apologizing for how parasocial that is. Because I am sick of Megan Thee Stallion being hurt by these bum losers. When everybody I know on earth is lining up to be like, I've got shoulders you could cry on. I've got anything you need, ma'am. But I should say, via her publicist, she then released the following statement to multiple media outlets. Quote, I've made the decision to end my relationship with Klay. Trust, fidelity, and respect are non-negotiable for me in a relationship. And when those values are compromised, there's no real path forward. I'm taking this time to prioritize myself and move ahead with my meaning and clarity. And then when she did her Moulin Rouge thing on Saturday, Moulin Rouge, the musical, she's on Broadway. Because what can't she do other than not get cheated on, I guess? She was like really sad and emotional. I even saw the Barbs being like, let's go easy on her. This looks like she's got her heart broken in the public eye. And when the Barbs are the voice of reason, man, they didn't even make it a year.
Yeah.
We found out about them in that blurry appearance of Klay in the background on July whatever of last year. And I remember going like, that wouldn't be Klay Thompson. There's no way. It's just a guy with a goatee. There's no way that she's dating Klay Thompson. And then July 16th, they went on their red carpet together. And they were so cute. And then in October, she released that song that I bet she wishes she could just delete off of all streaming platforms at this point. That would be the one, Lover Girl, with the chorus, my man, my man, my man, my baby, my baby. And and he's out here just, you don't want to...
I know. It hurts. It hurts.
Did you read the, someone has since come forward with his diary, his journal? He used to keep like a cheating journal. And I assume it's not in here because maybe we couldn't find it from a confirmed source. But it was confirmed. I read it. And the way that Klay writes to his own journal, it's like a... Anyway, where was I? Oh, I'm off to All-Star Weekend. Like, he talks to it the way you wrote to your diary, Isabella, when we were like 13. And it's all about how it's so hard for him because there's just so much abundance of women throwing themselves in his direction as an NBA player. Now, this is not from his relationship with Meg. This has just come back out because it's, I think, one of his exes, when I think he cheated on her, she took a couple pictures of it. And yeah, it's a violation of privacy. But now that I know the way Klay writes to himself in his journal, it gave me even more of the ick, where it was like, girl, get away from him.
You'll be fine.
It makes me feel like in that song when she calls him, when she's like, you 90s fine. I'm like, she was just coping. She was just trying to convince herself that this man isn't a huge waste of her absolute time. So, remember in November when she cooked Thanksgiving for his entire family?
Yeah.
The entire goddamn family.
That's the thing that makes me piss. It's like, I didn't have to do that. And I did.
She didn't have to do. We said it at the time. I'm like, look, you could just show up and go, what are we eating?
Yeah,
like,
bring a nice bottle of wine or something.
For the fact that made me say, like, she makes women everywhere feel like less, like I'll never be able to be all of the woman that Megan Thee Stallion is in every way that she is that. And then to have that woman get cheated on by that guy is like, what hope is there for any of the rest of us? What are we? This is proof. This is what I have to say. It's proof that when he cheats, it's not about you. It's about him. It's just that he's...
Well, I was going to say, yeah, that's a narrative that comes out of this, like how it has in the past when it's just like this beautiful, intelligent, talented, smart woman gets cheated on. And a lot of people will say that. But you got to tell yourself at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's not about you.
Girl, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with him.
Yeah, exactly.
And whatever he needs to go work out on the third day of the draft in therapy. I just think that a really frustrating story. I assume we got a lot of correspondence about this from our dear viewers.
Plenty of emails, plenty of voicemails. There was one voicemail in particular that I particularly liked. I'll just say particular as many times as I want now.
Use it. He gets paid every time he says particular.
I do.
This episode today.
It's a strange payment structure we've got here, but that is true. But this one really stood out to me. It's from Annie from Chicago. Let's go ahead and play that.
Hi, Katie, Isabella, Chris, and Brady. My name's Annie. I'm a bartender from Chicago, and I just need a place to put my feelings about Klay and Meg. I guess those feelings can be adequately summed up. No, they can't be adequately summed up, but if I were to try, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah.
One more, with different emphasis. What the fuck?
Yeah.
How fucking dare he? So I guess my question for you is this. Are men okay? We know Klay's not, and may he never be. But, like, her, that's what she gets? She's a perfect specimen? She's a perfect human being, and this is what she gets? Are men okay? Oh, my God. What the fuck?
Yeah, I completely agree.
We're not okay.
That's exactly.
We're not okay. This one fucked this up for the entirety of our of just
Well, you're all
all of
doing a
us.
pretty
There's
good
no
job
way
of
for us to
fucking
come
it
back.
up.
Setting men back quite a bit.
Yeah, and it
my
also
goodness.
makes me go like, let's talk more about that loneliness epidemic and what more we can do to increase it. Honestly, we're trying to help, and I feel like at every turn, it's just can people stop hurting Megan Thee Stallion, please? It's like it's again, we don't know these people. I don't know her. It's just like she's been pretty vulnerable with us about all the things we've been through, and yet still here we are again, and it's just like who's gonna stand up and love this woman the way that she deserves?
She threw him a birthday party and booked him Bone Thugs and Harmony because it was his favorite group growing up.
Yeah, I can't. It's girl, we love you and we're sorry, and maybe somebody on the Celtics. Maybe we could recruit her back to our.
Like the Knicks have some like cute guys too.
Do they though? And like, I don't know.
Does she really want to go back to the NBA? This is probably a bad taste in the mouth.
You're
You
right.
know,
There are some real cuties
I'm
on the
right
Bruins, and it's just kind of like a different space that maybe you'd be interested. The Sox, you can manage the Sox if you want. She could be the Sox new manager. That would be fine by me.
I've never seen her fail at anything, so sure.
It's just like,
Hot sports take, this should keep him out of the Hall of Fame.
yeah, this should keep him out of everything. Don't
Don't they have like asterisks next to their names
If
sometimes?
Bill Belichick does not make the Football Hall of Fame for whatever dumb shit that was, this absolutely should keep Klay Thompson out of the Hall of Fame. This makes me think that he is a role player and nothing more and cannot handle anything other than shooting from the corner because this man had an opportunity to be a leading man and just fumbled it generationally.
And like the last people that I want to hear from are the people who are like, well, basketball players cheat. Well, athletes cheat. It's like, yes. And the assumed rest of that sentence is always, unless you have the prize, unless you've got at home Megan Thee Stallion, or I guess like Nia Long. That was crazy. She
or
got
even,
cheated
you
on.
know, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't even set that precedent. Like, there's athletes who really, like, care about their partner, you know what I mean? And that isn't necessarily what always happens. So, like,
I just am. It's just pretty frustrating. It's really frustrating and sad, and I just wanted Megan to know that, like, girl, we love you, and it has nothing to do with you. It couldn't possibly. It's proof for everybody. It's got nothing to do with you. It's all about Dear Diary himself.
Secondary market for Moulin Rouge has to be crazy right now.
Of people just wanting to get in there and see it.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Be in there and help her heal.
Yeah. Oh, poor thing. She's been through so much. Speaking of of breakups, but also specifically managing the Red Sox. The Red Sox fired their manager on Saturday. And you might say, well, you know, the Red Sox are having a tough season, Katie. You've been pretty honest about how frustrating it's been to be a Red Sox fan. I would say Saturday was one of those days that wasn't frustrating because, Brady, I'm sorry to bring this up to you, but on Saturday, the Red Sox beat the Orioles, what was it, 17-1?
17-1
So,
in Baltimore.
like, we were watching the Orioles. I was in Chicago for the weekend, watching that game and going like, whoa, look at the Sox. Maybe this is the start of something beautiful. Ironically enough, a little similar to how I felt last season when the Sox were having a shaky start and then swept the Yankees. And I was like, oh, I'm feeling really good about this team. What happened that night? They traded Rafael Devers to the San Francisco Giants. What happened on Saturday night? They fired everybody who touches coaching, save a few people, for the Red Sox. They fired their manager, our manager, Alex Cora, and the hitting coach, the third base coach, a bench coach, an assistant hitting coach, major league hitting strategy coach, and then game planning coach, Jason Varitek, I've since heard not fired, being reassigned, but in a photo of all of the fired people, Varitek is there giving a big thumbs down. So it doesn't feel like he might necessarily, just because they want to keep him doesn't mean he's necessarily staying.
Isn't this a situation, though, where it's really the lack of players on your team?
Yeah, we've done this before where Isabella asks a logical and good question, which is like, why fire the manager when it's that like the players aren't necessarily getting it done? And the easiest answer is that like this is something you can do pretty easily. Like you can move on from a manager. You should actually probably get ready for this.
You know, we didn't have to turn this around.
I'm just saying. I know the Mets fans in the building here seemed to think it was going to happen today, Monday, on an off day, that the Mets might move on from their manager.
And that's a very normal time to fire a manager.
An off day.
As opposed to flying into Baltimore. I assume they flew. Yeah. Flying into Baltimore, waiting at the team hotel for the manager and coaches to come back from an ass kicking they just delivered onto the Orioles in the middle of a series, and then firing everyone and then going right back out there the next day.
And having to bring in your manager from your farm system and move him from the Woo Sox here to the Red Sox so that somebody can be in charge for the game they had to go play.
They brought up so many coaches. Like they fired so many coaches. They also brought up the AA manager. Like I don't know who's managing in the minor leagues for the Red Sox now. They're going to have to bring in somebody from somewhere. There's only so many coaches you can fire at once before you just start losing organizational knowledge, right?
Well, ironically enough, the coaches that they did fire had to get to the airport somehow. And so they booked one of those Sprinter vans to take the coaches. But somebody sleuthing noticed that if you zoom in, the name of the company that sent the van is called Coaches for Hire. Like a coach van, a coach bus. But it's funny because we put all of our coaches into it. Listen, I haven't been like Alex Cora's biggest fan. Obviously, he has managed the team for a while. There was a bit of a snag there, and he had to get rehired after 2019. He was fired and suspended because of his role in the sign stealing scandal that happened in Houston. And so he, had the stink of that on him a little bit, but he's well-liked and well-respected by the guys on the team. The problem with the Red Sox right now is that he's like a veterans coach, and we don't really have any veterans on the team. I mean, one of the only ones we have, Trevor Story, was pretty vocal about how much this sucked and how much he hated it. But like Roman Anthony is being left to take up the mantle of being a leader on this team, and this is like his first year, essentially, his second year with the team. So, like, I guess maybe bringing in somebody new could be good. As with any sport, we always talk about, could this be something that lights a spark? Could this be a turning point? But it was just a weird weekend for Boston sports. Especially
it comes off of how unhappy everyone's been with Red Sox management in general. It's not like they have a great assortment of players, are put in a great spot to succeed, and they're not succeeding. They lost Alex Bregman after they lost Rafael Devers, and now the ownership is somehow surprised that this team is last in home runs, that they can't score runs. They replaced Alex Bregman with Caleb Durbin. Just replacing.
Please don't speak that name around me. I'm so sorry. I just can't. I think he got his first home run, and I think it was off a position player who had to pitch because we were up by so many. And it was such a Caleb Durbin welcome to the team moment where you're like, I can't stand this guy. And it's not his fault. It's the team's fault. Here's my theory. I think this whole thing ends. I think the Red Sox are trying to become the first team entirely run by AI. I think if the front office could replace themselves with robots tomorrow, they would. And I think they're taking steps towards doing it. Because remember that story that came out in whatever publication last year about how somebody made it to like a 6th round of interviews for a front office gig with the Red Sox and never met a single person? It was all with like an AI. That made me go like, what's going on there in the front office? And then when this happened, we didn't hear from everybody there in the front office. We heard from Breslow. He kind of took the brunt of it. But I just feel like
This is what everyone feared when they hired Theo in the first place, and now everyone's shaking the doors and like, bring Theo back.
Bring Theo back. We loved Theo. Just to hear Trevor's story say it's kind of up in the air what the true direction of the franchise is makes you go, awesome. That's awesome. That's so cool and good. And I love that. So, happy trails to Alex Cora, who I believe has 2 years left on his deal. So hope he takes a nice vacation. I saw he posted on his, what I do like, okay, is that he's now coming out with stuff. So like right away, he reposted Mookie on was it the All the Smoke podcast that he was on?
Yeah.
He reposted that on his Instagram story, Mookie talking about what happened to him in Boston and how he always liked Alex Cora. There was also a picture posted of all of the fired coaches out to dinner together. And so I feel like we are going to maybe get some tea from all of this.
Do you imagine just having just getting paid for the next 2 years with no consequences to not shitpost?
No.
Just all the freedom in the world.
Yeah. I mean, the consequence would be you don't look like a very good manager if you get in too much trouble after all of this. And I assume he would be a highly sought after manager just on experience alone.
Yeah, if I'm the Mets.
I know.
If I'm the Mets,
Imagine,
that's
Isabella, if we swap dads.
I'd be kind of sad if Mendoza went to you, though.
Oh, yeah, I don't know
no,
if
no.
that would happen, but you guys would get our manager,
Yeah.
which would be. But
Is
I
he
think that's
good?
cute.
I don't know anything about
You're
him.
attached to
He's good.
Mendoza in a cute way. Yeah, he's players
Yeah,
like
I
him.
think it's honestly because this is like the first time I'm actually like really joining a baseball team, and so this is literally like the first baseball coach I've
Yeah,
been
that
introduced
you've
to.
been. Yeah,
So
that's
I'm
your
like,
first dad.
oh,
Your first sports dad.
damn.
Your first baseball dad.
that sucks. I've
Speaking
never-
of
yeah.
actually, which Chris, you texted me
Yes.
this weekend about something as a dad and baseball. This feels like the place to share this story that I'm obsessed with. What did you tell all our listeners what you did this weekend?
So on Sunday, my family and I went to a Greensboro Grasshoppers minor league baseball game. This is on Sunday. And because they had a rain out on Saturday, it was a doubleheader beginning at 1 o'clock. So it was going to be a long day of baseball. So we got there, we sat down at about 1:15. My daughter, 4-year-old Isabella, instantly falling in love with her surroundings, falling in love with the game in front of her. Within about 15 minutes, she turns to me and she says, "Daddy, baseball's my favorite sport. I like it more than basketball," she said. "I like it more than football. And I love the Grasshoppers." That's what she said. And she proceeded, this 4-year-old girl, to stay sitting in her seat for the next roughly 4 hours watching baseball. And then we left at about, what time was it? About 5:15. And she started cracking the sads because she didn't want to leave.
Cracking the
Because we had like an inning and a half left, but we had to get home and get a bunch of stuff done and all that sort of stuff.
Totally
Have dinner.
understandable. Yeah.
And she's like, "I don't want to leave. I'm having too much fun. I don't want to go."
Incredible.
I honestly did not expect that my daughter would be sitting there for 4 hours straight. There was a half-hour break in the middle between games that she went up and played on the playground for a little bit. But while the games were on, she was in her seat watching it,
That's
asking me
wild.
questions, and I was so proud.
Absolutely
So
wild.
proud.
What
and
hooked
look-
her?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. She's been to a couple of games before. We haven't gone for about a year, but she sort of vaguely remembered the last time we went. But every time we go past like billboards with the Grasshoppers on the billboards, she always points and says, "I want to go to a Grasshoppers game. I want to go to a Grasshoppers game again. Let's go. So we finally went. She says she likes being outside.
That's
So
true.
she likes watching the game outside. I
helps.
think rather than, because she's been to a couple of basketball games as well, I don't think she enjoys the indoor atmosphere as much. But apart from that, I'm not really sure
Were they
what's
good
hooking her.
games? Like, were they a lot of hits?
No, we lost the first one 4-0. We were up 4-0 in the second game. That was okay. But after we left, we gave up 6 runs and ended up
Oh.
losing 6-4. But we didn't see any of that, so that was
no.
fine.
Oh no.
But yeah, she loved it. And I'm going to try to take her as much as I can because
Yes.
if I see her getting this invested in going to baseball games, I want to be able to harness that and just
Yes.
give her as much of that as I possibly can.
Dude, Isabella's love baseball. That's the new.
They do.
Yeah.
This year, Isabella's just love baseball. Also funny, Brady, that we beat you so bad on Saturday when Friday night you beat us so bad that you guys ran out of fireworks. You see,
It's
Isabella,
the best scoreboard flex ever.
because you guys do like the pyrotechnics after every home run?
After every home run.
And Isabella, there were 6 home runs at that point, and they posted on their video board, due to too many home runs, we have unfortunately run out of fireworks for the night.
What a flex.
Do you reckon that
honestly.
was actually true? Or are they saying, you know what would be funny? If we say
Yeah,
we've
maybe.
run out.
And that also helps them budget to
Yeah.
not have
Yeah,
to run
exactly.
Joke
through all
and
of the
you
fireworks.
save money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if I know anything about baseball, it was definitely a combination of both of
Yeah.
those things. Also, if I know anything about hanging out with a 4-year-old, it's that, and I know there's a difference between 3 and 4, and it's 1 year, and a lot happens, but I spent the weekend with a 3-year-old. Getting them to sit for as long as you said she sat is a feat. So,
Yep.
If this is an honest perfect sitter, like a 4-hour spot with no bathroom breaks, that is unheard of.
well, she might have, I mean, he wasn't going to tell us if she had to go to the bathroom.
She
I
will
don't
hold
need
it
a
for the
tally,
entire
but
4 hours.
She said she sat
does
there in
not-
a seat for 4 hours.
Yeah.
She will not go to the bathroom unless we force her, so she's more than
Damn,
comfortable sitting there for
she
4
just
hours.
hates doing it.
She hates it.
That's
Like,
so funny.
Izzy, we just realized you haven't gone to the bathroom
I had
since
an
9 a.m.
like
this
that.
morning, and it's dinner time.
She's
Can
like,
you
yeah.
please go?
She's like, I really
I'm in
have
the
to. I
zone,
just
Dad.
don't want to. I'm really not into it.
yeah.
Ay, ay,
I
ay.
relate, girl. I get it.
Yeah, it is annoying. It is the most annoying thing our bodies still make us
Yeah.
do. Where sometimes you're like, I wish,
I have to do that again.
right? It's like if somebody's getting up to go to the bathroom, I always go, can you go for me as well?
Yeah.
So that I
Yeah.
can, while you're going, can you take my pee with you? So that
Also,
I
like the
can-
cinder block single A baseball bathroom is not exactly like the Delta Lounge. Like it's
Yeah.
not.
It does always
It's not
have.
the most
That's
private.
where Dan's lack of a sense of smell really comes in as a superpower. Whenever
Oh,
you have
good
to go
point.
to like a beach bathroom and he's just like, he walks in
Floors are wet.
no sense of like everyone
Chewing
else going
gum.
like, he brings in his food. He's just eating it in the bathroom. No clue. Okay, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we got to update you on a couple stories. We got an RL Stine update. We've got the NBA and the NHL playoffs. We got to talk about the NFL draft, and we have a cursed jersey, and it isn't the RL Stine one. This is casuals, not fan service. And we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Hi, welcome back. We figured here's we do a little bit of catch up on stuff we've talked about before, stuff we've gotten emails and correspondence and questions about. Chris, where are we starting in terms of, I heard our email inbox was popping off this weekend.
It was, but a bunch of different things. The first thing that we want to highlight is your appearance on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Oh, yeah, the
had-
the NPR show.
So many people email in about that, being very, very excited that you were on
Really?
there. Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. My mom texted me. She goes, this is how my mom corresponds with me. Not like, heard you were on, took a listen. She said, everyone's texting me about your appearance on Wait, Don't Tell Me. To the point where I said, sorry, I guess. But yeah, it's like a news quiz show, very popular, been around for forever. And that's what I went out to Chicago for, was to do that. And I did it with my friend Josh Gondelman was on there, and Tom Papa was hosting it. So it was awesome. It was so much fun. I will say there was a couple stressful moments because it really is a news quiz. And most of the time, the panelists are just goofing off and making jokes and whatever. But at one point, they really just go like, okay, Katie Nolan, 1 minute on the clock. We're going to ask you a bunch of rapid fire questions about stuff that happened in the news this week. And, you know, I pay attention to the news, but I also, in an attempt to not let my feelings about all of that leak into the sports of it all, sometimes I focus pretty heavily on the sports, and I bookmark to read later some of these stories. So there was a question about the redistricting in Virginia, and as soon as he asked me, I was like, oh, I'm going to embarrass myself in front of an NPR audience and not know what state it was that just did that. But I'm also on a timer, so I had to fail fast. And so I said, I'm so sorry, I have this one bookmarked, but Louisiana? And the whole crowd was like, no! And so it was kind of mortifying. And then he asked me a sports question, so I was like, oh, this will be easy. And he's like, the New York Mets just finished a historic losing streak. And in my mind, I'm like, 12 games, done, next question. And he said, of 12 games, after what? And I went, what do you mean after what? After losing 12 games in a row. And then I remembered and I went, after Zoran Mamdani shook hands with Mr. and Mrs. Met, and it was right. So it ended up working out. But I was so nervous that after blowing that Virginia question, I was going to blow a sports question, and then the whole crowd was going to go, who is this lady and why is she here? But ultimately, I tied for first, so it went pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah, not too bad. Did we have an email or a voicemail about it that we wanted to listen to?
We have an email from Arvind who emailed in about it. Said, "Hi, Katie and the Casualties. My wife and I have this routine of doing our grocery shopping on Saturday and listening to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. That's a pretty cool routine. I completely lost my shit when they introduced Katie as one of the panelists. Now, I know it's all fun and games, but I just really wanted her to win, especially when she got the answer to the Rolex question. Love you, mean it."
Oh, yeah, the Rolex question was, a fake. A guy thought he was selling a fake Rolex, and it turned out it was a real Rolex. Right at the end of the timer, I got that question. It's stressful. It's stressful to know the news in front of really smart people. But
I bet.
I'm terrified of any couple that can do grocery shopping together.
While listening to a thing, what are you, sharing headphones? How could you possibly...
Unless you're doing online grocery
experience.
shopping and listening to it while you're going through the app and choosing...
Yeah.
Wait, I don't know.
Nothing stresses me out more than a grocery store. So I would get into a fight immediately with my partner.
Also, yes, and I'm
Yeah.
constantly doubling back. It's like, how have I not yet figured out that, like, you get the bread and then the next aisle you're going to get the... I still go like, oh, I forgot the olive oil. It's all the way back over there. Let me go get it. Like, it's nothing more stressful. Well, there's
My
probably
wife is very efficient. I'm like running suicides in there, just back and forth to different aisles. She'll call me like, hey, I've got the cart. She'll call me from the other side, and I'm like playing Frogger in between people. It's very stressful. I have to get to her in a set amount of time. There's an item that I'm supposed to remember that I just left behind.
It's too much.
Even thinking about it now, I'm losing
know,
my
I
shit.
know.
Just thinking about grocery shopping with my wife. I can do it fine solo. She can do it fine solo. But the two of us together, it's a goddamn disaster.
It's stressful.
There's a lot of things that I miss about New York, but one of the things that I don't miss was going grocery shopping at Trader Joe's every week because of the sheer amount of lines that snaked through the entire store.
It's
so as soon as we get there,
easier, I think, that way.
You gotta
potentially
shop
because you're
while
going
in the
through
line.
anyway.
Yes, you just get there and you stand in line, and then as the
you
line
pick it up
slowly
as you go
moves, you
across?
shop in the aisles because what he's telling you is that the line snakes up and down the aisles of Trader
It's
Joe's.
disgusting.
So it's just like a different experience. That's an experience that if you miss something in an aisle and you have to go back, that's actually hard to do because the line is there, and then people think you're trying to jump into the line. So
that's why it was a good thing that we went together to go grocery shopping there, because I would immediately get in line as soon as we get there, and my wife would just go around and then
that's what
pick
you
off
gotta
everything
do.
as she goes.
And then I look down at my phone and I have 15 missed texts from her.
Yeah, Brady's losing it right now. Brady cannot. This is really
I can't let the
stressing him out.
delivery services know how much they're undercharging me for grocery delivery.
Yeah, I know. And I can't tell you that I know you men get stressed out by the grocery store, because whenever a man delivers the groceries, it's like, this is not even close to what I asked for.
I know
I'm
someone who
also-
literally was like, whenever I order from Instacart and I see my delivery person is a man, I cancel it and
It's
get
like,
a new one.
they will send a picture of and go like, they don't have it. What do you want of this? And you go, well, what I asked for is on the second shelf in the photo you just sent me. So I'd love you to just grab that and put it in the cart.
I'm
their
also
eyes
not
don't
Trigger
sure
warning. Trigger warning.
if I've
what
ever
I'm talking
been to
about.
the grocery store, regardless of how many things I've had to get, without having to call my wife to ask her at least one question about what she actually wants. I'm like, do you want this type of milk? Do you want the other type of milk? What brand of this would you like? Whatever it ends up being, I will always call my wife to clarify at least one of the items on the list.
It's too many types of milk, man. It's
But
too many
at
types of
some
milk.
point,
Thank you,
know,
Brady.
You guys can also know what type of milk the house needs, you know?
But it's what she
Your
wants
wife
specifically.
isn't getting divine. No one's telling her what type of
I know
milk
what
you
type the
guys need.
kids
She's
need.
coming up with it from the recesses of her own brain that you could as well, you know?
I'm not
Then it
saying
wouldn't
she's
match
in the
what's in
wrong
the
here.
recesses of her brain.
Yeah. Man. We have way too much to get to still be talking about groceries. So let's move on to, we talked last week about the NWSL getting a new expansion team coming up in Columbus. And we were trying to name the team. Brady pointed out that R.L. Stine is from Columbus, so we said maybe they should do something Goosebump themed. And this only proves what I've always said, which is we're not paying that much attention to MLS, because we got a lot of correspondence about how this is something that already exists.
Correct. The email that I'm going to reach out to read out is from Rachel because of how she worded her email. And Rachel says, "Hi, Katie and the Casualties. I was just listening to the most recent episode and the discussion about possible names for Columbus NWSL franchise. As a lifelong Columbus resident and sports fan, this is very exciting news. Brady brought up R.L. Stine tie-in. I had to bring it to your attention that Columbus loves R.L. Stine and the Columbus crew released a Goosebumps kit last year. While I appreciate the jersey concept, it has been a bit polarizing with many Cruise fans naming it the Cum jersey."
Excuse me. The
cum
cum jersey.
Yes. And then Rachel says, sorry for the language, but Katie always knows how to make inappropriate things sound more professional. So
Chris does not.
The cum jersey.
very professional, Katie. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then Rachel continues, "I do love Goosebumps as a team name, though." So Rachel very much on board.
Was it white?
No, it was like highlighter yellow.
Was that immediately obvious? Also, if it is highlighter yellow, guys, call a doctor, okay?
We also had another email, by the way, who said that they referred to it as the Krukaki kit.
Oh my God. Isabella's trying to figure out what that means, and I love that for her. I love that for her. I think that's great. She doesn't immediately know, and I think we should let her live in that.
Okay.
Don't Google it
In
on
that
your work
innocence.
PC,
Please do not go, what rhymes with Krukaki? I really don't think that you need to, okay? I mean that.
Okay.
Definitely not on your work computer.
Okay.
Okay, so we missed that. I'll have to take a look at it. I got to look it up and see. Really crazy to be called the cum jersey. We also found out, we heard from people on a more serious note now, that there's people are taking issue with something about the NWSL expansion. Chris, do we have like an email on that?
Yes, this is specifically about the Haslams who bought the franchise. This is an email that we got from Megan, who writes in and says, "Hi, Katie and the Casualties. I've been a fan for a while, but I've been waiting for a topic I actually knew about before I contributed. This new Columbus NWSL franchise is something people in Columbus wanted, but largely would like to be better planned. It was announced that our new NWSL team is going to put their practice field on a park that was supposed to be turned into an accessible playground in a part of town that really needed it. If we just have to focus on what to call the team, it should be called the Pilots because of Jerry Mock. Shout out to Chris with the deep dive. And because Columbus is the hometown of 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
21 Pilots. Plus it
Brady's
pluralized.
not I would have pegged you as a huge 21 Pilots fan, Brady.
Yeah, I get like my quarter zips and demographic information ties me to 21 Pilots. I don't think they're at the get a pro sports team named after them level.
Well, it just could be like a little nod, and then whoever wears 21 on the Pilots could have some sort of a whatever. It doesn't matter.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
It does pluralize the name for Brady as well, so you might
true.
like Pilots because of that. But so essentially the Haslams have come in and are placing the practice field on a park that was going to be used for other purposes that the city needed.
I do like that Megan shouted out Chris for the deep dive, but I will say that their idea of Pilots is a much better idea than Chris's, which were the Jerrys or the Mocks. There was you didn't say the Pilots as an option.
I didn't.
You did?
But I wanted to shout out Jerry Mock, the pilot.
Right.
And I thought the Mocks would be funny because it would sound like Smocks as well.
Sure.
Columbus
Yeah,
Mocks.
that's what I think we all were thinking. Luckily, Megan.
We had a lot of emails that said that was a good idea too, but I'm not going to read
you did?
those out.
But we
Brady
don't have
didn't
time.
see those specifically.
People are saying it. A lot of people are
A
saying
lot of people were writing in to say that. And then another thing that we talk about a lot is a marathon. We always are talking about marathons, and I remember I famously said that I can run a 10-minute mile. And what happened this week in marathons? What was the big marathon news?
Like one of the great barriers in human history. Like we talk about when the 4-minute mile came down with Roger Bannister. 2 different men at the London Marathon this week broke the 2-hour mark for the first time.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
It's
26.2 miles under 2 hours.
Bettering the previous men's world record by an astonishing 65 seconds. That's absurd.
100-meter dash in under 17 seconds. Repeated 422 times end to end.
I'm gonna throw up.
These guys are going at a near sprint for 26 miles. I can't imagine how the human body is capable
What's
of
also
this.
fascinating is that part of the lowering of the times, according to this research, is about improvements in training, nutrition, technique. Another key element is shoes. Shoe companies now use carbon fiber plates and other materials as part of an effort to make shoes lighter and springier, which is even crazier that guy ran without any. because not one of these guys, but the guy we talked about last week. Because it's like, if you could, with all these advancements, put a shoe on, my guy.
Oh, you got to save that weight.
Holy
you got to save that weight. You're picking up
cow.
that many thousands of steps, saving a couple ounces here and there.
No.
2-hour marathon's crazy.
Crazy. It doesn't make
really is.
any sense to me. I also, one of the stories on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me was about how robots run them really fast. And I was like,
Well,
yes,
of course, robots
of
should be able to run them
course
really
they
fast.
do. The robot that I drive around goes fast too. It's a car.
It's crazy to think people run entire marathons in the length that it takes us to record a podcast.
Yeah, Christ.
That's
That's on us, not them.
Sometimes. I mean, not even, sometimes we can't even get it done. Of course, the guy who edits it has that complaint, Tough life. Okay, let's get into the draft. We got to talk about the NFL draft. Look, I've said before, especially as a casual for sports, I really don't think the draft is like visually exciting and interesting. I was watching the draft. I was at my brother's house. We were trying to watch the postseason. We were trying to get multi-view going, and they have, I think it's Xfinity multi-view. And the only option was to get 2 hockey games and the NFL draft. So it was like, why would I waste the screen space to just watch somebody walk up and say that they're going to eventually play a sport for a team? It's just not for me. But there were a lot of interesting stories that came out of it, and a couple of them revolved around the phones. So let's start there. We have the Cardinals calling the wrong number before they choose Jeremiah Love. It was the 3rd overall pick, and there was a slight delay while they were on the clock, and here is their GM explaining why it took so long.
If you want me to tell you the honest to God truth, we had the wrong phone number. The phone number that we were given was the wrong one, and so that was a little bit of the delay. So we got that straightened out, and we called Jeremiah, and we got a hold of him. That's what the delay was.
I feel bad for whoever they did call. But they were like,
I got
you're
drafted.
going to be on the Cardinals. And the guy was like, I am? Like,
Okay.
and you're like, no, is this not Jeremiah Love? Crazy that they didn't somehow have the right number before they started. Wasn't the only weird thing that happened. The Eagles drafted Makai Lemon at 20 while he was already on the phone. So they got that ring that goes like, ring, beep. So you know that he's already on the line with the Steelers, who were picking at number 21. Pittsburgh assumed that the Cowboys, who had the pick before them, were going to draft a defensive player. So they called Makai Lemon, the receiver out of USC. They let him know they were going to draft him. But as that was happening, the Eagles traded up to number 20. And so then they tried to call Lemon to tell him they were going to draft him. And they couldn't get through because he was on the phone with the Steelers.
Huge weekend for Philly sports teams trolling Pittsburgh sports teams.
Yeah.
Great work, Gritty.
Yeah. But, Pittsburgh did get a win. They didn't get swept. But we'll get into that later when we talk about hockey. What happened with Kenyan Sadiq and the Jets?
Jets tight end gets drafted by the Jets. Says that above all else, when he got that call, because after last year, Shadur Sanders got the prank call,
Right.
and that's why they've been so tight about giving out phone numbers. That's why only one person with the Cardinals had Jeremiah Love's phone number, and it just so happened that they got it wrong. Kenyan Sadiq said the first thing he thought of when the Jets called him was that he was being pranked.
Do we have the audio of this?
Kenyan, how you doing? This is Darren Muji with the New York Jets.
I'm doing good. How are you?
You doing good? We're going to pick you right here and make you a New York Jet.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you excited about that? You can come here and be a weapon for us, all right? I'm going to hand you over to head coach AG.
Thank you.
Ken, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm excited, Coach.
Man, good. We're excited too, man. Listen, we're going to bring you up here. You're going to be a huge weapon for us, all right?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a prank call for a second. But no, I appreciate it.
No, we're not pranking you, brother. No, you're going to be a Jet. You're going to be a Jet.
I wish it was a prank call, he says. I was like, the Jets, though, are you sure? Are you sure this isn't just somebody pulling my leg? Are you sure I can't go to a team I'd like to be on?
You can hear how hesitant he is at
I
the
know.
beginning of the call. He's like, yeah, okay.
I mean,
appreciate
also,
it.
can you call
Thank
him
you.
Aaron Glenn? Like, can you hand him off with the full, hey, I'm going to hand you off to AG here. It's like, well, just let the guy, he's got a lot going on, okay? Can you just give him all the information he needs? But perhaps my favorite phone-related headline. Did you guys see during, I think it was the press conference where they were introducing Caleb Downs. He got drafted by the Cowboys, and the media is all there, and Caleb Downs is up there with Jerry Jones and whatever. And the media is all taking a picture. Everybody's got their phone up because they're taking a picture of Caleb Downs with his new Cowboys jersey. And Jerry Jones thought it would be fun to make a little joke where he's like, "Oh, I'm going to pretend to take a picture of you." And he held his phone with the screen facing the press. And he was like holding it up and clicking it in a way that you're like, does Jerry Jones, is he allowed to operate his own phone? Like, do you think somebody's job is to push the buttons on the screen for Jerry? Because there's the way he went like, "Oh, look, I'm doing it too." It was like, buddy, are we good? That's not how you would do that.
You have the opportunity to not be really weird, and you choose not
And
to.
that's just
Constantly, Jerry.
All the time. Jerry Jones. Well, okay. Well, we've got him. We should.
Caleb, how do
enjoy
you
it.
feel about glory holes, son?
Yeah, for real.
You ready to come look for glory holes with the Dallas Cowboys?
Yikes. Okay, dogs. Dogs are really all I care about. And if your dog is present at your draft when your whole family is crowded around, it's going to do something I like. And that happened with Oscar Delp. He was a former Georgia Bulldog. So shout out Bulldogs and dogs in general. He was a tight end, selected by the Saints in the 3rd round of the draft. And they got the moment on camera. He's surrounded by friends and family, and you see in the front is their dog. It's like an older chocolate lab, I believe, from memory, and it's facing the family. So while they're all waiting, and when's he going to get drafted, and who's going to call, he finally gets the call, and everybody celebrates and stands up, and everyone's jumping up and down and hugging, and except the dog, who recognizes that finally his time has come, and space has cleared up on the couch, and so he just like hefts himself up there and grabs a seat. And I love that. Shout out to that dog.
It was like the dog's 7th attempt as well. Like as soon as everyone starts cheering after he got drafted, the dog's like, "All right, I think this is my opportunity." Tries to duck to the left. No, the hole closes up. Goes to the right. Nope, not really. And keeps waiting for his opportunity until finally he finds the gap.
He couldn't. Yeah, I was gonna say he had to
Straight
find the
through.
gap. He couldn't find the seam and run up.
Nothing throws an old dog off more than just more people than usual being on a couch.
Right, and being
It's
loud.
such a routine.
And he's just like, "Listen, dude, my hips hurt so badly. Can I just get up there and take the weight off these old things? Let me be a part of it." So I was happy to see that he got that. Real football talk, like actual football conversation. I think the main headline from the draft was that the Rams drafted a quarterback, Ty Simpson. And their head coach, Sean McVay, I think body language-wise and just reading into it a little, he did not seem like he was on board and excited about the pick. Isabella, you remember, obviously, your fantasy team had some Rams on it last year. And so you know they did really well. Matt Stafford was their quarterback, old guy.
But good.
Yes, old, but very, very good. And he has since come out and said that he's not retiring. He's going to run it back with the Rams. And so the idea basically is if they're going to do it with Stafford, they got to do it next year. So I think a lot of people were thinking the Rams would take some weapons, something to sort of help Stafford out. And instead,
because they have Puka Nacua, this is important to note here. Puka Nacua, also good, but also Puka Nacua now rehab.
Yeah.
So there are some very important things that they may have to replace for time during this season to help out Matthew Stafford.
Right. And so with the 13th overall pick, they took a quarterback from Alabama, Ty Simpson. And we have a clip. I mean, it's more visual, I think, than audio. But let's take a listen. This is not when he clarified, right? This is that day, the first presser that they gave. Here's Sean McVay at the press conference after the pick.
Did you have a conversation with Matthew about this pick?
Yeah, I did.
What did you tell him?
I'll keep that between us.
Do you expect that works out?
We'll see. He's going to compete with Stetson.
John, was this the player that you guys identified and targeted, or is this a situation where you guys looking at some other players and this is with what was taken before, this was your...
Yeah, there was a lot of players that we liked, but when you do look at it, I think the thing you liked about the body of work is, let's make one thing clear. This is Matthew's team.
Yeah. And so, I get it. I would kind of want my coach to, if I were Matthew Stafford, I'd be pretty happy to have him react that way and not be thrilled for me. He has since come out and said, no, I knew the pick was happening. I was in on it. Whatever. Stetson, by the way, that's Stetson
Bennett,
who is their backup.
also rehab. But Stetson Bennett, the backup to Matthew Stafford. So when you're taking a guy 13th overall and you're like, he's going to compete to be our backup quarterback, we're not even handing that to him.
Yeah, which is tough. I think it is good in general if you're going to move on from your quarterback to have a young quarterback there to learn from Matthew. Like, I see the vision for the future. I just think most people's complaint was that the Rams have never been drafting for the future. And now that they need a draft for right now, suddenly they're going, let's take a guy for the future. And so it was just an interesting pick that I don't think a lot of people expected.
Especially because Matthew Stafford might be a clone. And even though he might be 38 in human years,
Thank you.
I'm sure in clone years,
it's so important for
he's
us
still got
not to get
so
off
much
of that
football left.
conspiracy theory that they had to bring in that de-aging van in order to keep him alive and keep his clone
It worked.
moist, whatever it is they have to do to a clone to keep it from... Isabella hated that.
I don't like
She hated
it.
that so much the look on her face was distress. She went, "Ma."
But he was awesome last year, so it clearly worked. And
Yeah.
who knows? Like, he could play for another 10 years
knows?
after this.
Keep a good moist clone
Speaking
around.
of, and look, I hate, this is too funny to not bring up, but I do hate now that we can't just make jokes about something like this without rampant misogyny stemming from it. But I will remind you that Kelly Stafford, Matthew Stafford's wife, has a podcast. And on that podcast a little while ago, she revealed that when she was dating Matthew in college and they were on the rocks, I don't remember the details of why they weren't in a good place, but she ended up, I think, hooking up with his backup quarterback as sort of like to get back at him, to make him upset, which I imagine worked. When they were talking to Ty Simpson after he was drafted, they said, like, have you heard from Matthew yet? He said no, but his wife Kelly messaged me on Instagram and said, hit me up if you ever need anything. And it's just funny is all I'm saying, is it's just funny. I don't think that's anything. It's just with the information she's given us, it's just very funny that the only person he's heard from is her. And she was like, hey, if you need anything, you can
Matthew, don't piss her off.
You can always reach out to me. Speaking of that, Mike Vrabel, you know, the New England Patriots didn't have Mike Vrabel, head coach, on hand, coach of the year, for day 3 of the 2026 NFL draft because he stepped away from the team to attend counseling. Initially, it was reported that he would still be in contact with the team during the draft. That did not end up being the case, with the Patriots saying, quote, the time away really needs to be time away. Now, this was announced, I believe, on like Wednesday. I think we knew that he was going to take time away. Not day 1, not day 2, but day 3 he needed to be at counseling. It was, I don't know if that was like a barter between Vrabel and his, I assume, still wife. That he was like, look, I can't give up day 2. We got a lot of movement to do in day 2. Day 3 I could probably miss. I don't know why the therapy had to be on that exact day. I think Monday therapy is open. It's not like a hair salon. I think Monday they do offer counseling services. So I think the therapist would have been there. But then Friday, or no, maybe it was Thursday afternoon, because I was live on the radio, got a bunch of texts. We got more pictures and found that a 6-year-old photo from 6 years ago showed Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel in a bar basically kissing. Again, we don't get the exact moment, lips on lips, but this is like hand on thigh, pulling away. You saw them, Isabella?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she had some leftover PB&J on the side of her lips, and he just
At the
needed to
bar,
cut it.
because you know sometimes you go to the bar and you order a PB&J, and your source
Sometimes
just
you
has to
pack
lean
them.
over and take it off of your lip.
Yeah.
Out of
Vodka
respect
tonic and
for you.
Uncrustable.
Yeah. I pack an Uncrustable every now and then.
So, you know, look, the therapy being used, the counseling being used as it's very strange. It's strange, and I don't have any faith that the team is going to do anything and that this seems to be their make good of like, look, he probably did that, so we made him miss the draft, and he's got to really be with his wife talking about, I don't know, their future. So thoughts and prayers to that relationship. Did anybody want to say anything? Save me from this?
Feels unnecessarily performative.
Yeah. not that there's anything wrong with therapy. I think everybody should be in it all the time. It's just like, oh, I've got to go. I have to put my family first. Now, it's like it feels to me a little late for that. I don't know.
They really wanted us to know that he was putting his family first ahead of a little bit of football.
Barely any football.
Rounds 4 through 7 of football.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, he wasn't a part of those picks, but I'm sure it'll all be fine. Did you see when this part I loved? So Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, always gets booed at the draft. It's a tradition unlike any other. This time they had I guess they're filming a new movie for it's Dan Fogelman.
It's a series.
Okay, it's a TV show. I was going to say Dan Fogelman I do like, so it makes me feel a little
isn't
bad.
That who made This Is
Us? Yeah, and he also did the baseball show that I did. That I was on. That was on Fox. It
Pitch?
was like Pitch. It was about a woman playing professional baseball. It was great. I like him. But this was really funny. They're filming. They wanted to get like footage of a draft scene for this show called The Land, and in it, I guess William H. Macy is the owner of the Cleveland Browns, and there's a draft scene. So they drafted a fake pick, and the crowd was supposed to play along. Here's what happened instead.
With the first pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Connor Lawrence, quarterback of Haskell University.
He doesn't exist!
It's not a real guy. But I do like that
limit does not exist.
Everybody was like, you're wasting our time. Can we just get on to the next? We're not going to do your fake pick.
Why do we need another movie about fake Browns ownership?
I don't think we do.
We just had one with Kevin Costner.
I really don't think about drafting as well. It's like
that was a while ago, wasn't it? 2010?
If you say 10 years, I'm going to...
2010?
If you say... No.
Get out of here.
2014. It was still over 10 years ago.
Oh, my God.
12 years ago.
I'm going to throw up. Isabel, did you ever even hear of that movie? The Draft Day?
I think so.
Yeah.
It
No,
was
you're good.
interesting.
What happened?
A lot of people thought this was going to be draft day too. I think initially when people saw the footage going around the socials, they thought it was
going around the socials. There's a
That's what
guy
you
who's
say,
not
right?
on social media talking about it. Once it hit the socials,
I think a lot of people thought or hoped or I don't know
it
what
was a sequel.
something to do with draft day too.
Yeah,
but
well, they were
unfortunately
disappointed.
not.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's a Dan Fogelman series called what did I say? The
Land.
Whatever. Diego Pavia. Isabel, you remember anything about him? We've talked about him before.
Yeah, he said he's tall, but he's not.
Yep.
And
he was the
Theo Vaughn
quarterback.
wants to date his mom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. He's the quarterback or was the quarterback for Vanderbilt. Didn't he also sue to be able to play for longer?
Yes, and did not win.
Did not win.
They made him go to the NFL.
And then so he goes
He's the
to
one that also said F the haters when he lost the Heisman Trophy.
Yes, on the sign at the
There you
thing.
go.
F the voters.
F the
Oh,
voters.
F the
specifically-
voters.
Specifically the voters.
Which could be haters too.
Sure. But unfortunately, specifically at the people who voted for him. And he was a finalist for the Heisman, went undrafted, unfortunately, and has now since accepted an invitation Sunday to attend next weekend's rookie minicamp with the Ravens. He is the first Heisman Trophy finalist to go undrafted since Jordan Lynch in 2014 out of Northern Illinois. He's going to compete against Connecticut quarterback, I don't know how to even say his name because I've never talked about him before, who also is receiving a tryout at Ravens rookie minicamp. Now, a lot of people were like, he should have just wised up and got an agent. He did have an agent for this, right? That's a little bit of people got that wrong. He had no agent for NIL stuff when he was in
Right.
college.
He did have he had an agent listed with the NFL's registry since January.
Right. So he technically did have one for this, but it didn't do him any good. He didn't get drafted. And that stinks. It really just seems like he doesn't interview well at all. I've never heard him say something likable and charming. I've never gone like, oh, I could root for Diego Pavia. So that checks out for me.
He had the whole setup at his wherever he was watching the draft from at home. He had the whole setup with 32 different hats laying out on the table in front of him.
That's tough.
He was going to pick
expensive.
up that hat. Yeah,
It's
like
expensive.
$1,000 worth of hat.
32 hats. And not pick up a single one is tough. And I don't want to
I guess you can return the hats.
I don't want to kick him while he's down. But I guess he's technically always down because he's so small. what about a happy story? Francis Maui-Noa got drafted by the New York Giants, former Miami Hurricanes lineman, 10th overall pick. And then after he was drafted, you know, his job's going to be to protect his quarterback, and his quarterback is Jackson Dart. And here is what he had to say.
Man, I'm ready to die for you, man. I know a lot of things has happened, bro, but I'm ready to die for you, bro.
Okay, what does he mean by a lot of things has happened, bro? I know a lot of things has happened, bro. What does he mean by that? Have they
no
gotten in a
idea.
fight before? Are they like, do they have history?
Man, I'm ready to die for you, man.
That's hilarious.
I mean, he might have to, honestly, because the way Jackson Dart plays.
No one's asking him to.
Yeah. I'm going to
Like,
die
I
for
will-
you, bro.
I'll-
I'm ready
I'll,
to
like,
die for you, bro.
I'll push some defensive linemen out of the way for you, bro. That's about
Damn,
it.
That's real love.
Yeah, he's going to take those hits. And Jackson Dart's like, that's okay. I can take them too. I actually
He's
like
like,
when they
I
hit me.
want to take them.
I actually like when they hit me. I like playing like this. It scares people. I also want to say I like that they're now giving the number 57 pick of the draft a lifetime supply of ketchup. I think that's a really good move for Heinz.
Is that a lot of ketchup?
a lifetime supply? Yeah.
I go through a bottle a year?
Well,
Oh,
if
maybe
you have
you're-
kids, I imagine you go through a lot more than that. No? Don't kids put ketchup on everything?
You only use one bottle a year, Brady?
Maybe more.
Oh.
This is a big source of stress in the
I think we're
grocery
different.
shopping.
Yeah, how are you only
All right,
going
this-
through one a year?
All right, so no, maybe we do use more ketchup than that. I don't know why I'm understating
You
this
men
ketchup.
really don't pay attention to what goes on in your fridge. You guys have no
That's
clue
true.
what's going down on the doors of your fridge. And that's, I think, the main takeaway of this sports podcast today.
I like how afterwards he says, "I love it. I'll take as much as I can get. Let's go ketchup," he said in his post-game
Let's go
chat with
ketchup. Here we
the,
go, ketchup. Here we go.
with the press. Very funny.
All right. So that's the draft. That's all the big stuff from the draft that we had. We told you we would let you know when the PWHL wrapped up its season, and that is now. The regular season has ended, and the semifinal matchups are set. The Victoire are claiming the top seed in the upcoming series, with the rest of the field including the Boston Fleet, the Minnesota Frost, and the Ottawa Charge. Because Montreal finished as the first place team, they get the opportunity to select their opponent between third place Minnesota and fourth place Ottawa, and they announced their selection would be the Frost. They said that on Sunday. We found that out last night here for us on social media, and they will begin their best of 5 series later this week. So Ottawa is going to play Boston on Thursday, April 30th. Minnesota plays Montreal Saturday, and game 2 of the Boston-Ottawa series will be Saturday as well. So just something to keep an eye on. What's up?
I love how they force the overall seed to choose their opponent, because that automatically makes whoever they choose way more incentivized to go out and destroy them. I
Right, because
feel
it's like,
like.
oh, you
Because,
thought we'd be the
whoa.
easier game.
Oh, okay.
That's cute.
Right.
Yeah, I see how it is.
Yeah.
Just see
Straight
what you
up
think is
bulletin
going
board
on.
material.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. And it's also, I mean, look, it's a growing league, obviously. They've got expansion planned, but they are only 4 teams making it into the postseason. You've got to make it interesting in that way, and I think that's a really good way of doing it. They do that with a lot of stuff in the PWHL. They have a really, they're approaching it really mindfully of like, how can we grow this in an interesting way? The same way they're like trying to make sure teams don't tank and stuff. And so I think that's really cool and awesome and great, and we'll keep our eyes peeled for that. Also, because of that, the Vancouver Golden Eyes got the first overall pick for the PWHL draft. And they now will have the opportunity to select, we assume, Caroline Harvey, yes?
Got to be.
Using the gold plan, the Golden Eyes recorded 5 points after being mathematically eliminated from the PWHL playoff picture. So that was the thing we talked about, where once you've been eliminated from the playoffs, if you win a lot, you are earning yourself a higher pick. And so they had 5 points after being eliminated and therefore earned the number 1 pick. So we love that.
Is there a reason that wouldn't work in the NBA, Chris?
That's what I mean. No, I don't think so. It's the best way to eliminate tanking. It's awesome.
But
As soon
is
as
it
you are
possible that they
eliminated.
would tank the beginning of their season in an effort to be mathematically eliminated sooner so that they can then
But
start
if
winning?
it was so bad that you want to lose the first half of the season, then you're probably not going to be good enough to start racking up the wins in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
That's probably what it comes down to.
All right. So, yeah.
I like it.
So use it. So get it done. Call them up. Let Adam Silver know. That I'm sick of hearing about this person proposes their solution to tanking. You're like, can you hide the fact that they don't want to try? Please? Can you hide the fact that they would like to focus on something other than winning the actual game, especially as gambling is becoming more and more prevalent in all of these sports? It's a really tough look for the conversation to constantly be revolving around. How do we get these guys to try to play to win? It's not great. All right, we can move on to hockey, like for the boy hockey. Quite a bit to update you guys on. Again, difficult because of the timing of the way this all comes out, but we'll let you know where we're at so that's what's going on. The Senators series, they're done. The Senators are out. They got swept by the Hurricanes. Brady Tkachuk did not record a single point. Didn't know if anyone wanted to let that sit for a moment. Not a single point. The graphics for the broadcast, though, did tease the Bruins game that ended up being a miserable time in my life on Sunday. They were like, the Bruins, David Pastrnak, and it was a picture of Brady Tkachuk. And I was like, that is not him. Please fix that. They did. Did we cut out the part with the Ottawa song?
Had to cut it out on video for YouTube.
Oh, but it did run
did make it
in the
audio.
actual. Okay, good. Because I was going to say, did you see that Ottawa tried to save their season by sending him, I don't know if it was a green screen or what. I don't know if I fell for it or what. But the actual messaging was like, they took that kid who made that song that sucked so bad, and they shipped him off. They said they flew him to Asia to get him as far away from the team as possible so that they could find some success in the postseason. Again, it did not work. But
I hope that inspires him.
It wasn't for lack of trying. I liked that he was like, hey, heard, okay? You don't like me, and I'm gone.
I guess I'll go to Asia.
My bad. I'll take the free trip. The Utah Mammoth series has been interesting with the Golden Knights. Obviously, this is the Utah Mammoth's first playoff run. And they did something really interesting that I loved because Vegas only got a team pretty recently. I'm sure you'll tell me it was over 10 years ago, but they're one of the newer teams in the league. And so for a lot of people who were living in Utah, Vegas was the closest team to where they lived. So when Vegas got the Golden Knights, a lot of hockey fans in Utah went out and got Vegas Golden Knights jerseys, and they were Vegas Golden Knights fans. Then they got their own team, the Utah Mammoth. And so now you've got these Golden Knights fans who are living in Utah and would probably root for Utah playing against each other in this first round. So what the Utah Mammoth did was they said the day of their first playoff game, I believe was Friday, they said, if you bought a Vegas Golden Knights jersey, bring it to the game and we will exchange it for a free brand new Utah Mammoth jersey, no charge. And there was a line that wrapped around the block. They said they almost gave away 1,000 free jerseys of people that showed up that were like, I don't want this Golden Knights jersey anymore. I would like to root for Utah. And then Utah's been winning. They are, as of right now for us, they're up 2-1 in the series, but they are playing Monday night. So that has already happened when you're listening to this. But I don't know. They're, as with anybody rich enough to buy a team, I reserve the right to end up disliking the guy, but the owner seems to at least be kind of plugged into the hockey culture. So I do love that they did that.
October 6th, 2017 was the first Golden Knights game.
Okay, so that...
9 years.
Oh, my God.
That's 9 years.
I would have said 3.
Crazy!
I was going to say maybe like 5.
That's crazy. COVID messed up time.
Absolutely.
Things move like fast and slow in the weirdest possible way. That's like when I said 6 years ago in regards to those two, I was like, oh, were bars even open 6 years ago? Because wasn't it 2020 and we're really closed? Let's, I guess, talk about the Bruins. That was the worst hockey game I've ever watched in my life. And I only watched some of it. I was flying back from Chicago. My seat back TV was really my favorite situation, which is where it works. It has live TV, but every 3 seconds it was blacking out and coming back on and blacking out and coming back on. And I was just like, I can't watch a hockey game this way. It's going to give me acid reflux. So I will just see what happens. I'll keep the faith. We were supposed to land at 2, which was when the game was going to start. We didn't land till 2:30. Turned my phone off of airplane mode, 3-0 is the score. So rather than texting Dan and saying, I landed, I love you, I'll see you soon, I texted 3-0, what the fuck is happening? And he responded, all on turnovers. So the Bruins just gave the puck away in the sloppiest first period you've ever seen. I deboard, or whatever the hell they call it, the plane. I get off, there's a bar right there. I look up, it's 4-0, and the first period has ended. So an abysmal effort. I get home, the parts of the game I do watch, it's just like fundamentals have been forgotten. Anytime you're like, well, at least the puck won't leave the zone, there it goes. Oh, okay. The most frustrating game I think I've ever watched. I don't know who the fuck that was out on the ice, but I do not want to see those boys ever again. And I know who agrees with me, my goalie, Jeremy Swayman, who got pulled when the score was, I don't know, 6-0?
6-0.
Yeah, 6-0.
And they show him, Isabella, coming off the ice, and before he just turns to the team and he's just chewing them out, screaming at them for not helping him at all. I said before this series that it feels like Buffalo's got the vibes, and it just is like, it was proven, fully, that was in our own, that was a home game. That game was in Boston. I cannot believe how many people were still there in the third period. If I were there, I would have left. It was abysmal. It was mortifying. And Game 5 is Tuesday night. So if you're listening to this on audio, it's tonight. It's 3-1 as it stands. And I just don't see how the Bruins could possibly pull this off. This is like, I'm kind of just hoping to be put out of my misery because this fucking blows.
But at least if the worst case situation does happen and the Bruins get eliminated, at least you've still got the Celtics, because they look like they're about to wrap up their series against the 76ers.
Chris.
They're currently 3-1 up.
Thank you, Chris. And you're absolutely right. It's just if we're power ranking my Boston teams, unfortunately, the Celtics come in fourth. And
yes.
And I don't want to be that fan that pretends that she cares all the time just because it's the only option that I have left. And so while I have been watching the Celtics and will be excited for the Celtics, I'm so sick of the fucking Boston Bruins in the postseason. The last few years that I'm sure Brady's about to tell me has actually been 10 years, have been it's taken actual years off my life. I have gray hairs sticking straight up out of my hairline because this team doesn't like or respect me. And I'm just sick of it. I won't partake in it anymore. Congratulations to the Buffalo Sabres. This has been a nightmare. Also, it was a loaf of bread, not a pretzel, and I've been getting screamed at about that in my mentions. We're sorry, the penis was not a pretzel, it was bread. And it looked like bread, and I thought it was bread, but it had been reported as a pretzel. So we were going with what we had at the time. There's some real breadaholics out there that could not believe we made that mistake and couldn't engage with the clip in any other meaningful way except to let us know that actually it was bread, you stupid bitch who doesn't know sports.
It was
last time the Bruins got out of the second round was 2019.
I was a different person. I wasn't even engaged. That's how long ago it was. Since we've done the hockey, we've got to do the basketball. As Chris mentioned, the Celtics looking good. They dropped a game to the Sixers, but then they bounced back. They set a franchise record for made threes in a playoff game. Pritchard didn't he almost break a record?
He almost broke the record for the most amount of points off the bench in a playoff game for the Celtics.
That's right.
He fell 2 points short of the record, which is 34 by Kevin McHale. He finished with 32 points. Phenomenal game by Peyton Pritchard. It was him and Jalen and Jason that did the damage for the Celtics. Pretty much those three controlled the entire game. I think they might have also been the only three to score for the Celtics in the third quarter. I know at some stage, Neemias Queta scored, I think it was early in the fourth, that broke that run. But those three were just awesome for the Celtics. We mentioned in Game 2 how terrible they shot from the three-point line. I mentioned that was an anomaly. Thankfully, they have proven to me that it was an anomaly because Games 3 and 4, they've looked much better from beyond the arc. They should be able to close out the series now, you would think. I think all-time they've never lost a series when being up 3-1, and the 76ers have never won a series after being down 3-1. So you would hope and assume that the Celtics take it from here.
Game 5 Tuesday night in Boston, so we'll see how that goes. How about DiVincenzo tearing his ACL for the Timberwolves? Tore his right Achilles on Saturday. Now the fourth NBA player to tear his Achilles in a playoff game over the past year, and also the fourth player to do that wearing the number 0.
Bizarre.
It was weird last year when it happened, and it was 3 guys. It was Dame Lillard for the Bucks, then Jason Tatum, then Tyrese Halliburton. And everybody was like, yo, that's 3 zeros. So that's really crazy. And then now the next Achilles tear in the postseason we see, and it's Donte DiVincenzo, and he wears number 0. So I don't know what that means, but I do know that I wouldn't wear 0 if I were coming into the league now. It's who's left. Who's left in the postseason other than
Tyrese Maxey.
Okay.
Tyrese Maxey's a 0. Jalen Duren's a 0.
Okay.
Well, so I had asked you this earlier. Is like, do you think 00 counts? Because I got a 00 on my team.
Oh, that's both Achilles.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The hell? Let's move on from the conversation.
He just lands and they both rip. Ugh. My brother used a phrase that made me want to leave. I almost booked my flight earlier. He was like, the crazy thing about an Achilles when it tears is that you see it snap back up their leg like a fruit by the foot.
Ew.
Oh. You saw when Aaron Rodgers did it.
I don't want. You saw. When I see something go wrong, I go like this. I'm covering my eyes. I don't go like, let me see if I can watch the actual ligament
recoil
up his
back of the knee.
calf.
Oh, yeah. It's like a pistol in slow motion.
Obviously
just going...
not watching that. Yuck. Absolute yuck. Donte DiVincenzo, who's a legend in our home because Dan loves that tweet that he sent once because I guess his dad wanted him to play soccer. And he said, what, so I'm gay now because I don't want to play soccer? And it comes up every time he does anything. Okay, let's go to NASCAR because our friend Bubba Wallace did something bad. Can somebody tell me what happened?
Well, he was at the very front of a wreckage
of how
that
many
resulted
cars?
In 26 cars getting into a crash.
Oops.
At
I didn't
Talladega,
even know
they call
there was
that...
26 cars on one track at the time.
There's 43, so it's more than half
This
of
was
them.
more than half.
It's one of the biggest in NASCAR history.
Oh, no.
It was at turn 3 on lap 115.
Okay.
According to NASCAR website, the contact between Wallace and Ross Chastain prompted the pileup to unfold and led to a red flag stoppage that lasted for 10 minutes. Now, a lot of the drivers were able to continue after this, but not Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney
so
was
he
part of the
knocked
crash.
his own friend out of even being able to continue?
Correct. Ryan Blaney had to forfeit the rest of the
Bubba Wallace and the no good, very bad day. That's horrendous.
26 cars.
They call that the big one.
Isabella,
they call it the
have
big one.
You ever caused a 26-car pileup?
Please say no.
Maybe in a dream.
Yeah. I would say nightmare maybe would be the correct verbiage for that. Can you imagine? That's like one of those, Dan and I always like to talk about sports things that make us go like, my bad, guys. Oh, I'm really sorry. Like one of them is if you're the defenseman in a hockey game and you're like perched at the edge of the zone and everyone's moving the puck around and they fire it up to you and you accidentally let the puck go past you and then everybody has to clear the zone and re-enter. But Dan and I would go like, sorry, everybody, my bad. But I feel like a 26-car wreck. I'd be
Is that
like,
the shanking a punt?
yeah, I'm so sorry. My bad, everybody. Please don't be mad at me. Oh, that's brutal.
What's our equivalent? Like you're getting off a crowded elevator and just drop your bag and like I have to pick all these things up right now. I know you guys have to get off this elevator.
But
just
it's
imagine 26 cars behind you.
Yeah, that's really tough. And I know it's
but
part
at least
of it.
most of them were able to continue. So that's
Except
something.
his own best friend.
Our favorite piece of
our
furniture.
Our favorite chair in the podcast game, Ryan Blaney. So, I mean, a real bummer there. But yeah, I would just be the 10 minutes of the stoppage would be me walking as Bubba Wallace walking around to everybody going, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm very sorry to you and your
You
family.
good? Can I get you a water? Can I get you something?
Yeah, there was something else that happened with this victory lap. Can you tell me about this too, Chris?
Carson Hocevar, he won the race in his 91st start. So he's doing his like victory lap around the circuit, but he's doing it while not just leaning out of the window, but like sort of sitting on, like, what do you call it, a windowsill? Whatever it is.
The door frame, I
Yeah,
guess.
the door frame.
So his
Just sitting on the
butt
door
is
frame.
out the window.
Yes. And he's driving all the way around, waving to everyone, like
Yeah.
fist pumping,
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. And then as he's trying to slow the car down, sort of loses control of it a little bit. It's not going particularly fast, but he's trying to get it to stop and it's not stopping. And then the car just slams into the wall while he's still hanging out. And then as soon as he hits the wall, starts doing a burnout. Still while sitting on the door frame.
Carson Hocevar brought back Ghost Riding the Whip.
No, that's not ghost riding the whip at all, because don't you have to, you hide when you ghost. That's the ghost riding the...
No, you dance in, around, or on top of, or next to the car like an asshole.
Right,
Like, there's
but
a whole
it's-
production of it.
But I think the key of it is that the car, right, but I also think part of it is that you are driving, but you're not seeing. Isn't there someone driving the car?
No, there was nobody driving. I mean, who's that driving Patrick Swayze? There was nobody in the driver's seat. You would pop out, and the car would continue to roll.
So how does
Memes of 2008.
how do you drive around a car without being able to reach the? Am I dumb? There's no gas pedal in the. In
I
a
think they
NASCAR?
explained, because remember we had this conversation a while back when Blaney won, right? And he was having the issue how
We said the
we didn't
brake was
think that he
not a
put the
pull
brake-
emergency
Yeah.
brake. But I'm
Where he just
saying,
had it in the wrong gear.
how are
So
you
I think
getting to the pedal when you're sitting on the door frame?
there might
I think
just-
either you're reaching it or it just rolls.
He's got really long toes.
rolls. I don't know.
Isabella.
I wish I knew more about this.
Shoes would look like if you just
about
had
the
really
mechanics
long
of a
toes.
NASCAR.
I don't know. This feels like I obviously didn't see this.
Imagining a flip flop. And the part that goes in between the toes is like in the middle of the foot because the toes are so long.
Okay, so what you're telling me is he sat on his car and crashed into the wall?
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't a particularly violent crash.
It jolted him.
But
Like, it took
definitely
work to not fall
the
out.
front of the car smashed into the wall while he was hanging outside of it, and then he proceeded to do a burnout.
Okay, that's his first time winning in his NASCAR Cup Series career, and that's how he ends it. All right, sure.
At one stage, as he was leaning out of the car, someone threw him a can of beer. I think it was a can of beer, and he tried reaching out to grab it and just missed, but that would have been something too.
Don't catch
Yeah.
the beer while driving. That's
Don't
a bad
catch
look.
the beer while driving. Don't they chug milk for exactly this reason? It's like you're not
Yes.
supposed to be around beer like that. This doesn't. Carson Hocevar, you got some learning to do. I don't know the guy at all. Look, we're ending on a fun note. I love this. Dana White on the White House Correspondents' dinner shooting. UFC president and CEO Dana White told USA Today that he thought experiencing Saturday night's White House Correspondents' dinner shooting in person was, quote, fucking awesome. Here is Dana White in all his glory giving you the full quote.
All of a sudden, it just started getting noisy. Tables getting flipped over, guys running in with guns, and they were screaming, "Get down!" I didn't get down. It was f***ing awesome. I literally took every minute of it in, and it was a pretty crazy, unique experience.
Does Dana White think he's bulletproof? Like, to flaunt everybody screaming, "Get down." I didn't get down. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I would say yes. Judging on the way he handles everything and the way that he's allowed to just not pay his fighters, I would say, yeah, he thinks he's bulletproof. What evidence does he have to the contrary?
It feels like he thinks he's living in Westworld. That's what it feels like. He's like, this is all just a game to me.
And unfortunately, I would say it feels like that with a lot of those people, where you're just like, this is a... And I actually don't even want to say this is a real thing, this is real life, because I don't know what's going on. The reactions across the board to the shooting situation at the White House Correspondents' Dinner is very confusing, I'd say. I saw a clip of an agent, some CIA agent, hiding next to a table, but then you see him reach up and take food off the plates and eat. And you're like, that's crazy. RFK Jr. you see gets swooped away by his security team, leaving his wife Cheryl Hines by herself. And then she walks across the stage. At one point, she throws her hands up like, okay, guess I'm going to get shot.
Play
Also,
the Curb theme.
The whole thing was just, and you don't want to laugh because it's like but then again, if there were a party that usually responds to these things and says like, no, we don't need gun control. We need more guns or something. Funny enough, it seemed like a coordinated, everybody's main reaction to this was that's why we need a ballroom in the White House. And I don't know if that was my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth thought in regards to this. I don't think at any point it crossed my mind, but ironically, it seemed to cross a bunch of Republican influencers' minds at exactly the same time. And so again, I don't know. Well, it's not. But Dana White had a blast. I went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and all I got was shot at. That's something we'll just buy for Dana White, I guess. Let's take a break. When we come back on the other side of this, Chris is going to tell us what we can watch if we want to distract ourselves with a little bit of sports this week. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Usually at this time of the week, Chris likes to put together a list of stuff that we could watch this week so that if you are a casual and there's some sports that you'd like to watch this week, here are some of the things that you can watch. Chris, what do we have on the docket this week?
Well, on Tuesday, tonight, for those listening as soon as this podcast drops, April 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern, you can watch some college softball. Number 13, Florida State against number 8, Florida. That game will be on the SEC network. The reason why I wanted to bring up this game is so y'all can watch FSU's Issa Torres, who's chasing the single-season batting record, currently hitting .583.
What?
That's her batting average is .583, which is the best in the country. Playing some phenomenal softball.
Brady, I need you to go ahead and, for the casual listener, to put a little bit of context around .583.
300 for baseball is Hall of Fame number. Like if you have a 300 batting average, so you are getting a hit 3 out of every 10 times that you're at the plate.
Or 300 every 1,000 times.
Same percentage.
Same
30
thing,
out of every 100
or
times.
3,000 every, I mean, what are we doing?
If you're getting a hit 6 out of every 20 times you're at the plate. She's at .583. Issa Torres gets to the plate 100 times. She's getting 58 hits. She is more likely to be getting on base, to be driving in runs, than she is to be recording an out. It is insane.
Do we know if it's short for Isabel or Isabella?
As a quick Google.
I just wonder, because maybe
Yeah, I got to support her.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it looks like Isabella.
That's a win.
Hard hands. We love an Issa Torres. Shout out, Isabella.
Oh my God.
So basically, Isabella, by the transitive property, you are batting .583.
Yes, thank you.
That's
Thank you.
pretty exciting. Great season you're putting together. How do you feel?
I feel great. Yeah.
A lady of few words.
I'm the Paul Skeens of softball.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right, so we'll tune into that. You said that is Tuesday, so tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern on SEC Network. What else can we watch, Chris?
The Kentucky Derby is this Saturday, May 2nd
It
on NBC at 6:57 p.m. Eastern. Don't
Very
try to tune
specific.
in to watch the start at 7.
No.
You missed the first 3 minutes.
Which could be the whole thing. That
Exactly.
is that's snuck up on me this year, huh?
Yeah.
You don't have a hat picked out?
It's come
I'm sorry,
quick.
babe. What'd you say?
I said derb up.
Okay. Everybody make sure they're Caleb Derb in on this.
This is the, of course, first of 3 races that make up the Triple Crown. Too.
Right. So we can all go into it not knowing yet and rooting for whatever horse you want to. Because then the next race in the Triple Crown, you obviously want to root for the one that won the Derby so that maybe you can have that special thing. All right. So we're going to have to we got to go out and buy mint. And we can muddle up our juleps for this weekend. That's the drink of choice, Isabella.
Oh, never had a julep.
When it comes to you've never had a mint julep?
No.
Well, we'll have
What
to
alcohol is in that?
Rum?
No,
bourbon.
Yeah.
Bourbon.
Okay. Sorry.
And mint.
Bourbon, sugar, mint. Yeah.
It's necessary to be screaming at me. I don't know what that's all about. All right, so we can
Catherine
watch
Blanford is going to jump through that wall and tackle you for disgracing
I
Kentucky
hope so. Bring
like
it
that.
on, Kath. Come on back. We miss you. All right, what else can we watch, Chris?
The third thing, the F1 is back after taking a month off. We have the Miami Grand Prix on this Sunday, May 3rd at 4 p.m. Eastern. The last race was March 29th in Japan. We had a couple of races postponed. There were races that were scheduled to be taking place in the Middle East. So this is the first race in quite a while.
And what happened? And why couldn't we have those?
Certain situations going on. The goings on.
The goings
because
on.
Because of the goings on,
such.
we had to move. We had to postpone those races. Kimi Antonelli currently leads the driver's standings ahead of Mercedes teammate George Russell and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc in third place. Yes. So
wait, I'm not going to speak French just to be safe. Sorry, go ahead.
to make sure that you're not capturing the ire of
Just to make
Stephen
sure.
A. Smith.
Just making sure. I wouldn't call it ire. You know?
Whatever it is.
Okay, so the Miami GP. Yeah, all right. So that's Sunday, you said, at 4?
Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, correct.
Okay, so we'll be tuning into that. Vroom, vroom, Isabella.
Vroom, vroom.
You know what that feels like? The end of the podcast. So thank you so much for listening. What?
We're only 9 minutes short of that marathon record.
All right, I'm wrapping it up. Okay, we had to take a couple breaks. We made some mistakes, and we're going to cut a bunch out, okay? So it's not going to actually be 2 hours. If you want to email us.
First hit record.
If you want to email us, it's casuals@KatieNolan@gmail.com. Our voicemail is 646-801-0043. On IG and TikTok, we are at Casuals the Podcast. We love you. We mean it. We love you, Megan Thee Stallion. You are her. Forget him. And we'll see you back here later in the week. Bye.